What up, dude? Welcome to the Boss Up All Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Curt. Still on today's show, we review what happened to the Lions versus the Commanders in the stunning 45-31 divisional playoff game loss. But first, do us a quick favor. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video. All these things get this content to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. We're on our way to 3,000 subscribers, and we're currently at 2642. Before I bring in my co-host, man, if you wish me a happy birthday anniversary on Facebook or Twitter or whatever else, appreciate the shout out, the love, man. I'm glad to be back. Thanks to my fellas for holding it down while I was gone for another week, man, having a vacation, man. Well, let's bring them in. First up, man, my man held it down. He was the host with the most while I was gone, man. He is the hardest working man in Jackson, Michigan. He's cooking meals. He's coaching kids. He's doing whatever, man. It's the Wolverine Lion who?
Coach Mike Jones. What's going on, Lion fans?
Man, y'all know who it is. It's the ladies' pet, the men's regret. You ain't seen nothing yet. The highest player from the Himalayas, LL Cool Twins. What's going on, my dude?
What's up, yo? Happy Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, happy Martin Luther King Day, everyone. It is a solemn occasion, man. We've had probably by the time the show airs, we've had 36 hours to kind of digest everything that's kind of happened, what went on.
It ain't enough.
On Saturday. Yeah, people have asked me, you know what I'm saying? I'll put it like this. I was still processing yesterday. Like, I didn't watch the Eagles-Rams game. I did watch the Buffalo-Baltimore game. Of course, I got, my wife's from Baltimore, so all my in-laws are Ravens fans, and I kind of saw what I saw in Detroit. It with the Ravens, man. Drop passes, turnovers, closer game than what we had, but I know Mark Andrews got to be sick dropping that 2-point conversion. But let's get into what we're going to talk about today. But hey, if you're new to the channel, you don't know how the show works, we look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, and takes. If we agree, we said they are bossed up. If we disagree, we said they are bought on. We give our reasons why. No hot takes here, just natural debate and our true thoughts and opinions about what's going on with our favorite team, the Detroit Lions. Win, lose, or draw, they still my boys, man. I'm going to ride with them regardless. I ain't got to be happy about it. What's that little meme with the dude holding the umbrella over somebody? Say just because I'm mad, doesn't mean I don't care. So, wow. Let's just say wow. 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 That's all I can say, man.
You know what?
I can't even say I'm mad. At first, I can say I was mad a little bit.
Okay.
My wife asked me, and I was like, I think I'm more disappointed than I am mad. Like, because you got kids. If you're a parent, like, you can be mad at your kids, but then there's a difference between being mad and disappointed. Like, I was mad at first, but I'm disappointed how the season ended. But I'm gonna give you some reasons why I'm like, okay, you just got, because at this point, as Lions fans, I just think that it's time for us to kind of just, what do you say? I can't what do you call it? I gotta heal and move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of heal and move on. At this point, it is what it is. I mean, like, and we're at the first one seed to ever get to ever lose in the division round. Hell, a few years ago, it was the Green Bay Packers. The same thing happened to them. I mean, we've had one seeds that but I'm gonna say this because this is one thing I'm gonna say throughout this show. The bill came due. Sometimes when you put a little bit on it. I mean, if you had some money struggles before, and you got to put a little bit on it, and you got to put a little bit on it, and you got to put the light bill do. Well, I can't pay the whole thing. Well, I put a little bit on it, and then that bill keeps growing, and that bill keeps growing, and then next thing you know, you get that disconnection notice. You know what I'm saying? You got to put you put a little bit on it, but all of a sudden that thing has spiraled out of control because you couldn't pay the whole bill because the bill just came due, and it was like, hey, you got to do something about this thing, and I think it became a little bit too much, and I think that's what happened with the Lions, particularly on defense. But let's talk about what happened in the game. Let's talk about what happened on offense, because we got to talk about what happened to kind of get past it. You know, it's that the healing.
Real quick.
What you got, Coach
Before
John?
we move on, I got to rant real quick before we start this
Okay.
this segment.
I put you on the screen. Let's go.
Yeah, put me on the screen, blow it up, all of that, man. To them fair weather Lions fans, to them brand new Lions fans, to them bandwagon Lions fans. It was reports that you could see people exiting Ford Field toward the end of the third quarter. That's not no real damn Lions fan right there. Exiting, and people said they had seen, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the everybody, but it was enough people that people are like noticing that people leaving Ford Field. And for us to be like, Ford Field is this dominant place and this, and nobody wanted to come to Ford Field. And when the players needed us, because they had our back all year long with that 15-2 record, right? So when they needed us, right, where was we at? Now, I'll say this, that a lot of them fake ass Lions fans got in because it was when did they beat the Vikings? It was like January 4th or 5th. Mm-hmm. So who really got that much money to blow the 10 days after Christmas? You know what I'm saying? Like, because them ticket prices, I bet you if you went with you and a significant other and y'all traveling, or say it's like 11:30 at night, so maybe y'all had to get a hotel room, maybe you was drinking, blah, blah. You spent about 2 G's minimum. So I really don't know that many people, you know, so a lot of them fans out there wasn't the real Lion fans. Now, a lot of them were. I take that back. A lot of them were, but some of them was just, oh, I got this, so I'm about to go to the Lions game. I got my threads on. Look, when they needed us the most, right, to give them a little pickup, right? Because remember, don't nobody want to come to Ford Field, and why don't nobody want to come to Ford Field? It ain't because of the Lions. It ain't because of what the Lions do. It's because the crowd, the fans, the atmosphere. Because we're the ones who, we get it going. The energy. The players don't create the energy in Ford Field. The fans create the energy in Ford Field. And if we walking out in a critical time when you don't know what could have happened toward the end of the third and beginning of the fourth quarter, that could have changed that game, because it was still a 10-point game then, I believe. So it's like and I kind of blame Rod for this, because you got them ticket prices so goddamn high that the average person can't buy them right now. You know what I'm saying? And it just, and I feel like we as fans have to take in a little bit of responsibility for that, because we always want to say Ford Field is this crazy atmosphere. It's the best atmosphere in sports. Who make that atmosphere? You know what I'm saying? Who make it like that? Because James Daniels looked pretty goddamn comfortable. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he was just doing his thing. So who was the ones responsible for creating that atmosphere? That's all I gotta say, man. Is them fake Lions fans who was out there buying them tickets up. Shame on y'all for walking out when the team needed you. Because they was 15-2. They had our backs the whole damn year. And at one time, when they needed us the most, to bring that noise, to bring that energy, to create that something, that momentum to just change, to create something, we didn't bring it because some fake ass fans had tickets and they was walking out.
Yeah, I will say this. I did notice if you look at that beginning of the fourth quarter, I did recognize like the considerable crowd size that had shrunk. Now I will man, yeah, I get what you're saying. I understand it. I can't put it all on them. I got to put some onus on the players, but yeah, I mean, I didn't like the fans were walking out. Could I understand why? Probably, but I'm a true Lions fan. I'm a ride like I think the game in Charlotte I left a little early, but I was driving back on Christmas Eve at night, and I was by myself. Man, LL remember this because I called and talked to LL on the way back, and it was it's out in the country, so it get dark down here, so I didn't want to be on the road by myself. If something happened to me, I'm not talking. What I'm saying, I don't have anybody who knows who contact, but I get it, but yeah, I mean, like we all know we have every team gets bandwagon fans every year, and I think this is the biggest bandwagon that we've ever had in Detroit. I get it. I don't necessarily, saying wholeheartedly agree with what you said, but I understand exactly your point.
The same fans who had the paper bags over their heads in the on 16 season.
You already know. You always gonna have
why come to the damn game if you're gonna walk out, or if you're gonna have a bag on your head? Why come to the game? Stay your ass at home. Let some people who actually love the Lions buy the tickets.
Yeah, the SOL fans are always gonna be there. So let's kind of look at what happened. What I saw on offense in this game. You guys, chime in or whatever you got to say. Just what happened on offense, man. I'm looking at this game. I'm like, on offense, man, the Lions did not take care of the ball. We all know that we had the interceptions, 4 interceptions, 3 by Goff, 1 by JMO, 1 fumble. I think for me, the pivotal moment that kind of changed, and it was early in the game too. They kind of got off track with the play calling. I don't know what Ben Johnson was thinking about, man. Kind of getting a little cutesy. That second that I didn't really agree with them starting David Montgomery that first drive. I mean, I get he's a stone setter, but Gibbs has been lighting it up since he's been the RB1. And the offense didn't really kick into that second drive when Gibbs just kind of went off. The play that kind of got me, I was scratching my head, was the sack fumble in the red zone, that first turnover. And that was just a bad play call. You got 3rd and 1 in the red zone, deep red zone. David Montgomery is back. This is the thing. You handed to him twice to get the first down. I mean, but you go empty against a good interior pass rush by the Commanders. I just don't know. So when you did that and now you're getting behind, you're playing right into the strength of the Commanders defense. The Commanders defense was 3rd against the pass in the league this year. They have a good pass defense. Like, I'm looking at this thing like, what the hell are you doing? They got the 30th ranked run defense. You run the damn ball. Like, I didn't get that play call by him in the red zone, the deep red zone. I'm like, you don't do that. Some things you just don't do. You stick to the script. And Ben Johnson got a little bit cutesy with that one. The offensive line, they played well, but they faltered. Like, that sack fumble was on the veteran side of the offensive line. That was against Decker and Glasgow. The young fellas over there with the young rookie with the dirt bag. I forget what you call them. Strebo.
Yeah.
And Panay, they were holding it down. But the other side, that veteran side was looking a little shaky at times, definitely. But they ran the ball well. I mean, we saw what the end yardage was for the game. It was crazy. I'll say this, and a lot of people are blaming, and I kind of have to agree with my man Panay Sewell. I saw it with my Sewell jersey today, but I did not. I wore my Saint jersey today. I can put Goff in some of the reasons why we lost this game, but I can't give him all of it. You got a lot of people giving him all of it. It's just Goff. He just sucks. He the reason we lost the game. Nah, man. Because guess what Goff doesn't do? He don't play fucking defense. He don't sack the quarterback. He don't play in the secondary. Even if you take away the pick 6, the Lions still would have lost by 7.
Take away the points off turnovers, though.
Yeah, but shit, some of those y'all didn't. I mean, but you got to add on the defense because the defense got to stop them. Some of that stuff happened down deep into the red zone, interception in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? Like interception in the middle of the field. I mean, like the defense got to stand up and do their job too. But there's a reason why I'm gonna tell you why the bill came due on this game. But I can't just say, I'm not saying that Goff is just like what do you call that? It's just immune to criticism for this game because I can't say that because he made some bad throws but the Commanders have a really good pass defense. Their secondary is good. You know, they didn't have a lot of turnovers, but they had a lot of pass breakups. So their secondary is good. Their pass rush is good. They got the Goff twice, which the one was the sack fumble. You got good players on that defense, and we all know that Dan Quinn's a defensive coach. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say this: is to me, I can't put all the onus on Goff. I could put probably about 50% of it on Goff because he did turn the ball over. I mean, I can't sit here and lie and say he didn't have a role to play, but I can't just say that he's the reason because guess what? The reason you say we lost the game, the same reason you say we were in this position to get here. You got to give credit. If you're gonna give him all the blame, you got to give him all the reason why we were there in the first freaking place. 15 wins is 15 wins.
He was there for him, but he,
come on now. You can't give him none of the credit for the 15 wins.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that now. But I just say this. I don't know if you were done or not. But no, I don't give.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't give
Jared Goff. Put him on the screen, Curt.
I ain't got that longer rant. You ain't got to put me on there. But I just say this. It ain't. I should go on around, but I don't give him all of the blame. I give him 99.97% of the blame.
99.97.
Yeah, I don't. Man. Yeah, this is when everybody said, "Oh, well, it's the defense too." Yeah, we knew that the defense was gonna have to do whatever they could do to stop it. But we know where we at on defense, right? Everybody knows where we at on defense, right? Including the offensive coordinator and the quarterback. So maybe they should have did some things to protect our offense. You can't expect the defense to hold for that many turnovers. That's exactly why we all came in here and said what we said when they did that to Houston. When Houston, we had the 5 turnover game and Houston blanked them in the second half. That was a monumental effort. That's something that I don't remember seeing nothing like that in Detroit, but we just don't see that too often. That's why it's such a big, oh man, such a big thing. So yeah, I think it's a lot to ask a defense to hold on for something like that. Now they, and they didn't break immediately. I think we got to give them some credit for that. It wasn't just, they held for a couple of them, but, it's points off turnovers, man. Like, what can you expect? And like you said, one of them was immediate. It was a lot. It was a lot. Maybe that one should have been called back too. I ain't going to rely on the refs because they unreliable. But, that was a definitely illegal hit to Goff, definitely. But and I just say that that's where I stand. I know everybody else got their own, viewpoint on it, and I'm fine with that. But mine is that y'all's two friends cost us the game, and that's Jared Goff and Ben Johnson.
So
okay, what you got, Coach?
Is Jared Goff was off, and the reason why Jared Goff was off. I'm not gonna say it's the whole reason why, but when you had that bye week. And you're the quarterback. When you're the quarterback in that rhythm and time in that bye week, and you spend a couple of days with the family and you take days off. When my wife knows when it's football season, I'm barely home. She knows that. Like she knows, like I go to work in the morning, I coach. Like you're not gonna see me. Like probably I leave at like soon as we get done recording, I'm gone. And then you're not going to see me again until probably about 7 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the same thing for a fighter. When a fighter gets ready to fight, he goes to camp. He distances himself from everybody. You know what I'm saying? And he don't come back and chill with everybody and then turn it back up again. And I think that had a lot to do. And you know this as well, Curt. You being in the military, once you locked in, you locked in. You can't break that. You can't break that whole. So why that bye week was so crucial for us nursing and getting back to health, I think it kind of hurt our
to get
focus
throughout the rhythm,
momentum, and our rhythm, because now you get that like, oh, okay, like we as fans, like, they deserve it, but as players, they like, you kind of like, oh man, yeah, like I'm chilling now, and then now it's like, now I gotta get back on the bike. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I'm a little bit lagging a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that's why when my wife knows, man, like, you probably not gonna see me that much from the end of July until whenever we done with the football season. And boxing, they know, like, you're not gonna see your family that much for them 10 weeks during training
8
camp.
weeks in camp.
Yeah,
I feel you.
I kind of thought that too, and maybe that's why not Ben Johnson, but that's why Dan Campbell was up there crying like that, saying it's his fault. I know, even if it's not his fault, he'll say that because this is the kind of coach he is, and that's probably what some coaches should do, right? And I want to think of it like that too, like, maybe it's the bye week or something like that. But then I had to look, and I just did, because I've been meaning to look at that this whole time. But the bye week this season, what I'm saying, we came out and destroyed Dallas. I know Dallas was a much different team, but because I kind of thought that, because I thought that when we played Buffalo, like, all right, maybe that 10 days is what did it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, because we was rolling and rolling and rolling, and maybe he doesn't keep enough pressure on them when they're not on them off time. Maybe give them an extra day off or something like that. But I see what you're saying.
I get it.
Mike. I see that.
Yeah. Hey man, like the video, share the video, comment on the video. All these things help to get this content to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. All right, now it's time to take a look at the defense, man. What we saw on defense, and here it is. I knew it was a bad sign when Amik Robinson went down early in the game, man. And then Iffy went down, and so did Branch in the second half. By that time, the Commanders' offense, they had full control of the game. The pass rush didn't get to Jaden Daniels. He was back there chilling. They didn't even get to Daniels when their best offensive line, their right guard, towards ACL, went out for the game. They still couldn't get to Jaden Daniels. Here's what I got. Here's what I'm going to say this time, really the first time. The Lions, this is the game when the injury bill came due. All the injuries on defense. The Lions were out 80% of their starting defense by the time that final whistle blew. Think about all the guys you lost on this defense just throughout the season. But then you look at this game and you're looking at it like, okay, you bring a starting caliber player back like Iffy, and he went down. He would had the hamstring injury. Brian Branch goes down. He comes back, but by that time it was way. I think the game was way out of hand by that time. It was just due. And in the postseason, having your starters or starting level players makes a difference. We all talk about the next man up, and I commend Aaron Glenn for what he did this year with all the backups and all the practice squad players and everything like that. But when the Lions had to change from that man to zone because of the personnel, I was like, this is going to be a problem, because you look at what the Commanders offense did. They were picking apart the zone. They know we don't play zone that well, because guess what we do? We're a man coverage team. And yeah, that injury bill came due. Even all but one of our big name free agents acquisitions were lost for the season. The only guy we didn't lose was DJ Reader. I think he went down for a game, but even he went down for a game. You lose Carlton Davis, you lose Marcus Davenport. Then you ain't talking about these. Now, I ain't just the free agents. Look at the big names on our defense. Hutch is the biggest name of all of them. We all know that name. And then you have Aleem McNeil, and then you have Derek Barnes. I mean, these are guys are your starters. And I get it, it's the NFL. Everyone's supposed to be able to play, but starters are starters for a reason. And backups are backup for a reason. Their talent level isn't the same. And you can have the same standard, and you can hold the guys to the same thing, but the talent level is different, and you're signing guys off practice squads, and you bringing guys up. It just ain't the same. It ain't the same. The injury bill came due, and we're playing backups and they're playing starters in the postseason. That's just a recipe for disaster. It just is, because at the end of the day, the bill can come due. We'll put a little bit on it all season. Hey man, we got this injury bill due, man. We're gonna bring this guy in. Well, hey, we just add another charge to it because another guy went down. And I will say this. Aaron Glenn deserves to have a head coaching job for the job he did with this group with all the injuries this season. I'm looking at this group. I'm like, what do we have? 20-something players on IR and like most of them on defense. I mean, like, it's crazy. I mean, like, Anzalone was gone for a stretch, but our biggest names, and especially on our defensive line, the biggest names on the defensive line, Aleem McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson was gone the majority of the Hutch almost all the season, and the majority of the second half of the season, it was Aleem McNeil. I mean, and you lose your starting linebacker, Derek Barnes. You lose your starting Sam linebacker. I mean,
you lose Rodrigo. You lost a lot of
Rodriguez,
Carlton Davis, the starting
Carlton Davis. And then you lose when Amik Robinson went down. I was like, this is some bullshit. I was just like, yeah, go ahead.
And I should have said this on the first. I take it back. So you're right. I give Jared Goff even less credit or blame for the loss, because I give myself some of that, because almost everything I said on Saturday morning, Mike, came true. I said about ball security, because we can't. I said it.
You got to play verbatim. A perfect game. What did you say?
No, I just said we can't do that. Your boy can't go out there and have a bunch of turnovers, because we ain't. This team will take advantage of it. We ain't gonna be able to recover. Yeah. And it happened. And on defense, I said about Jack Campbell hurting people. First play or I don't know if it was the first play of the game. It seemed like the first
or second snap, defensive snap
from scrimmage. Jack Campbell break another one of his teammate arms. Dog, what is going on out here? Like,
and it was Brian Branch who broke Anzalone's arm.
I thought it was Jack Campbell who did that too. But
that was Brian Branch.
I don't know. In my head it was Jack Campbell, and Jack Campbell was the one who he punched or he hit McNeil in the head when he was getting checked out for a head injury. But regardless, but that was man. Just like you said, just not to add too much, but you couldn't recover from what was happening to us.
Yeah,
eventually.
The bill came due, and you hear, and as a Lions fan and as a content creator and podcaster, I want to look at it like, that's my team. Like, as a fan, I want to look at man, we got this far, we're gonna ride it out. But you hear all the commentators, you look at some of the bigger names, we're like, I don't know if the Lions can keep sustaining this with all the injuries that they're having on defense.
My thing is even with all the injuries, this game was still winnable. Even until the J-Mo pick is when I thought we still got this game.
That was killer. I mean, he just had a bad moment. You can see he was trying to do something. And they were like, you should have threw it away. But he was like, I'm trying to make a play, coach. You can see he was just trying to make a play, and it was like he was trying to get something done. And I'm like,
should have called something else.
You can't throw that in that. You can't do that in that situation. You have to just play your game.
Or with another player
and rely. Yeah.
Not saying that he didn't know what to do, but because the itch to make that play was too strong for him. I think saying that, but a player like Dave Montgomery, he a little bit more calmer. He can see a little bit better.
You got to calm that down. Yeah, I feel you.
He might have threw it out of bounds or slid. It just take the ball out of harm's way. You ain't the quarterback. You ain't supposed to do that.
But. Yeah. Right. So what you got on the defense, Coach Jones? Because like I said, I just think that the injury bill was like, it was just too much. The bill came due, and you couldn't put no more money on it. You had to pay the whole freaking thing.
Yeah, it is, man. That the injury thing, that patch up job is good for the regular season. It works, but in playoff time, is really who's healthier. Which team is healthier? Which team has everything they had at the beginning of the season? You know what I'm saying? What they game plan for, and can take that into the playoffs. That's the team that's really going to thrive in the playoffs. And Washington was almost wholly healthy. Besides that, one practice squad
Yep.
or two backup linebackers, one special teamer and one I think rookie. And the rest of their team was intact. And that's just what it was. It was team chemistry. Like you said, Curt, the bill came due because those players, when you get to the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game. Like it's totally different, man. The intensity is different. The game planning is different. The pressure situation is different. That's the reason why guys are backups, because in those big pressure situations they don't shine the best. So that's why they're second and third string players. That's why they're practice squad players, is because they've been in that position, and some guys are here and they're back here. And you can kind of cover it up, draw a little picture around it, but at the end of the day, man,
put makeup on a pig.
Yeah,
Or
but at
lipstick
the
on
end
the
of the
pig. However it
day,
go.
Cinderella gonna turn back to a pumpkin, and it just is what it is, man.
And let on them damn pumpkins.
when you down Carlton Davis, Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, Derek Barnes. I mean that's and those just off the top, and Rodrigo. Those are like 5 starting.
Even Marcus, I can even give Marcus Davenport, because he was having a good season up till he got hurt.
He started out strong.
So I mean like that's 6. So that's six starters. Like when you go into that game and you got half a defensive line, half a linebacking core, half a secondary, it's just not going to be good, man. So,
yeah. And then we bring in Morris. You bring in a rookie, have to play back there, because you lose 3 different starters in this game on your secondary at one point. So I'm like, damn, what else gonna happen? This is some bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm
like, man, this is crazy. But what else you got, Coach Jones? Like,
yeah, man, I'm gonna just say this, man. I know it's just high school football, but if we have that many starters go out of a game, it don't matter who we playing. It's gonna be a long damn day.
You already know.
It is what it is.
So now it's time to heal and move on, man. We gotta do that thing, man. But let's see here's my thoughts of what's gonna happen to the Detroit Lions going forward, because I do have some I'm kind of optimistic on what's going on. I think the first thing the Lions need to do is it's time to replace Glasgow on the offensive line. We found our other starting guard with Big
Strebo.
Big Strebo. We got him in there. He's doing his thing with Christian Mahogany. We got one more piece to add on the offensive line. I think it's time to add a little bit of depth as well, but I think they'll be all right on offense. I think the defense.
Who's the second one for, Mike?
Who?
I said two.
Who?
Taylor Decker.
He ain't going nowhere. They just re-signed him. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he did just sign another deal. But
that's why I didn't say his name, because they just re-signed him.
But it's obvious. It's such an obvious, like.
Oh, now it's obvious.
But he played hurt most of the year too. So I will say this, but I'm not giving him a pass. But I didn't bring him up because they just re-signed him. So I ain't gonna bring up somebody they just re-signed. On the defensive side, I'll put it like this: the Lions' defense was ridiculous this part of the season, because when they were healthy. So I think they can get healthy and stay healthy, they still could be dangerous. I think you got to re-sign a couple of guys. Of course, like I think Carter Davis should be back. I think Derek Barnes needs to be re-signed.
Most of them.
Yeah,
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo. I think, was this a contract year for him?
Yeah, I think.
No,
or maybe not. Maybe not.
No, it wasn't a contract year. No, he didn't come in with Barnes. He came in the next year. He came in the year after Barnes.
Hard Knocks. Okay. He came in Hard Knocks year.
Okay.
Yeah. So he got one more year in his contract. So you look at him. Okay, you look at those guys. I think you need to re-sign DJ Reader. I think did he sign for a 1 year deal or 2 year deal?
I think
it was a 1 year
deal. I think it's
2 year deal. Two. Okay.
Well, it might be like one and one.
One of the avoidable year.
Like
yeah. So I think we need to bring those guys back. I think that if we can get help, I think with all the injuries, I think that my thing is we're still I think we're still good. I think the Lions, the people say, well, the window was closed. I think the Lions Super Bowl window just open. You look at all the young players we have on this team that were still hurt, that got hurt this year. You have a few veterans that got hurt that we had, but the majority of those guys were young players that got hurt. The bigger name players were younger players, even though they were some of our veterans, but they were still young. Like Derek Barnes is not that old. And Aiden Hutchins is not that old. Yeah, Elaine McNeil not that old either. So you look at those guys, they're not old guys. They just need to be healthy going into the season. They're
still on rookie deals.
Yeah, so you got those guys that what I'm saying, and some of the big names on offense we've already re-signed. We already re-signed a David Montgomery. Remember he reworked his deal earlier this year. Mm-hmm. We already re-signed St. Brown. We already re-signed Penei Sewell. So you look at those
Taylor
guys,
Decker, to mention
and Taylor Decker. We did. So I'm looking at this like I think the future is bright in Detroit. LL gonna say what he's gonna say, but I think going forward, I think that the Lions still have a bright future. Okay, two things for me for the coaches before I'll let you guys get into this. I think this season and this game proves two things to me. One, Aaron Glenn is gone. Two, Ben Johnson's coming back. All right, what do you guys think going forward? I think this proves to me, and I think it proves to some other individuals that Ben Johnson's not ready to be the head coach. I think it proves that Aaron Glenn is because of the season, but I think at the end of the day, in the big moments, Ben Johnson still needs to be an offensive coordinator. I don't think he has enough skin in the game to be head coach just quite yet.
I don't really know. I'll go ahead and go. I don't really know. I don't know who's gonna stay and who's gonna go. And I wouldn't be shocked if both of them decided to stay, or I wouldn't be shocked if both of them decided to leave. But like I was saying, I think if Ben Johnson leave, for what you just said, Curt, he may not be as ready, or he may not see himself as being ready. So he might need to insulate himself a little bit more. Like Aaron Glenn, he's been around a little bit more. He might take Shep or somebody, but he might have other people in mind for different roles, just outside of the league, because he's been around longer. Ben Johnson, I don't really, he obviously has not only been with Detroit, but, a lot of his options may be here. Like he might want to take, do I always say his name wrong? Is it Frank Haley or Hank Fraley? Whatever in the hell. Hank Fraley. Okay. So he might take somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I see, but I think I'll say I'm prepared to lose them both if that's how it's got to go. Because I feel like and it kind of depends on who else leaves with them, because I kind of felt like they've been building up other players to take that role. So if it's on defense, we all kind of yelled it when they signed Terrell Williams, like, okay, this might be, somebody if AG leaves, or he allegedly been prepping Shep for that. So, something like that. I never thought of Hank Fraley as an offensive coordinator, but he throwing his hat in the ring. So let's say if he, if Ben Johnson leave, maybe, Miss Big Sheila might, open up the pocketbook to Hank instead. And I think that might be more in line with what Dan Campbell likes. And that's just, I'm going off of what we saw when Dan Campbell was allegedly calling the plays, and we just ran it all the time. So offensive line coach might like to run the ball. But yeah, like you said, you said it all, Curt, just get healthy pretty much. We are in a good position. It's not good to have lost like this, but we got a lot of players coming back. One of my biggest things is at least now Hutch get the rest. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to worry about him trying to come back for the Super Bowl, nothing like that. At least we'll know he'll be all the way right for next season, stuff like that. Like, just for that kind of stuff. And Lee McNeil, everybody's going to be, should be back to the peak of their powers at the beginning of the next season. So that's something to look forward to. I've been already looking at the draft. So, draft some more, players for key positions, There's going to be a lot of players that we need, or a lot of positions that we need out there, so we can get some depth players at lower draft picks. But it's going to be, more notable names, I guess. Some kind of sort of what we did these last couple of drafts, getting Brian Branch later on and stuff like that, and Hendon Hooker. Even though he ain't playing, that was a mystery to me too. Like, why did they just go directly to Teddy Bridgewater instead of Hendon Hooker? But just stuff like that, situations like that, where it's, oh dang, we got him in the second, dang, we traded back and got him in the fourth, that kind of stuff. And those players will play, pivotal roles because we have players in front of them. They may not have to step in right now. They can step in, or they can step in when they're ready. They can they're coming off a back injury or foot injury. They can get that all the way right before, let's say if a player like DJ Reader need to miss a week, we might have a guy in place for him. Or Amik Robinson need to, got his ankle banged up. We got another, we got a Nick Rakestraw, to come off the, bench, and we might even draft another guy, maybe draft another safety or something. I don't really know, but I feel like there's a lot of opportunity to get this team a lot better. And we got a lot of cap space as well. I don't know exactly how much. I know it's like almost 60, 58 or 57, something like that.
Something like that.
So, yeah, we got enough to re-sign who we need to re-sign, like Kirby or whatever. And we got enough to go out there and maybe get some other guys. And I like the plan because we don't necessarily jump out the window with some of those signings. But we sign guys who can come in and play real solid. So maybe we might see one jump, maybe one bigger name than usual. But going forward, just building this team to withstand. I think they kind of know, or they, every year some new talent. Is all right. We see we need to get this. All right, we see we need to get that. All right, we got a lot of things. We just really need to focus on depth this time around, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, and I just looked. DJ Reader is under contract next year. Got a $12 million cap hit for next season. So base salary for him is $6 million, and then the
I was about to say $6,000.
$6 million. I'm sorry, $6 million with a $1 million signing bonus, $4 million roster bonus, and then a couple more bonuses. His cap hit is $12 million next year, and if we cut him if we do it pre June 1st, is a $4 million cap hit and a $7 million cap savings. So
yeah, I wouldn't cut him.
He's got some voidable years. He's got another 2026 is a voidable year for him. But you look at it, he'll be back in Detroit next season, no doubt with that.
Yeah. So I honestly think that if Ben Johnson does leave, Scotty Montgomery will be the offensive coordinator. I think he was brought in for that purpose because I think Scotty Montgomery, if he didn't come in as the Lions running back coach / essentially offensive coordinator, he would have been offensive coordinator somewhere else. Scotty Montgomery was a hot name on the market. So I think Scotty Montgomery was brought. Scotty Montgomery was brought in because he
has head coaching experience.
Yeah. He was brought. He was Jonathan Taylor is like his. I know Jonathan Taylor of Wisconsin, but Jonathan Taylor's like ascent into what he is. It was Scotty Montgomery. You know what I'm saying? So he was gonna get an OC job. I was surprised when he got hired as a Lions running back coach / assistant offensive coordinator because I'm like he taking that little of a job. Because I was expecting him to take an offensive coordinator role. So I think we have him in place. And I think that's because they're expecting Ben Johnson to be gone. I don't think Scotty Montgomery would even took that position knowing that he's just going to be that coach and behind Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson ain't going nowhere. Like, I just don't think that lines up like that. So I think Ben Johnson's gone. And Scotty Montgomery's going to be his replacement. I think Aaron Glenn is gone. And depending on whether Chris Spielman is placed as the GM of the Jets, I think if he is, then maybe Aaron Glenn goes to the Jets. If he's not, I think Aaron Glenn does what Dan Campbell does. He goes to where his heart is, and his heart is in New Orleans. And I think he goes in New Orleans and he helps kind of reshape that team and get them back on the right track because that's the weakest conference in the NFC is the NFC South. So and that's the easiest. That's the easiest. You steer that ship right in a 9-8 season might get you to the playoffs. So
right.
Yeah, man. And I think on the side what you speaking of in the redraft and retooling, I think Brad Holmes, man, he already on it like every year. you got to figure out how to fill in different pieces and cut guys off, and how to manage that cap and things like that, and how you got to, you got to stay the same, but you got to get younger. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, like you said, our starters are in place, but now we got to get, probably going to end up trading back in the draft. We're probably going to be trading a lot back in the draft because Brad Holmes is a master at the back
Mm-hmm.
end of the draft. So we're probably going, what I'm saying, for some extra picks and end up filling out the rest of that roster when we lose a couple of guys. I'm like, oh man, we lost him. Yeah, because he got, what I'm saying? So I think that's gonna happen, man. And we're just gonna restack, retool, and we're gonna go at it. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm still not healed. I'm still not right. I'm still mad. Like I still punch somebody in the face if they talking like the Lions is, oh, this is the same that SOL talk to get you a black eye around me because I'm just not ready. I'm not at that point because personally, because I missed the game. I got to rewatch it. I was actually catering Martin Luther King Jr. dinner for the people out there, and so I got to look at my phone and see the flash of the score, and I'm like, oh my god, oh god, no, not my
All right,
team.
man.
So yeah, man.
Yeah,
Man.
don't do that, man. We got to set up a GoFundMe to make sure we got enough bail money for Coach.
I'm telling you, don't say nothing out of pocket to me.
Don't catch him in the
within the
street.
next month.
Just say what up though. Don't say nothing crazy to Coach Jones. You see him down there in
Don't do
Jackson.
it. Don't do it to yourself.
But you know what? I'll say this to all those, especially those guys from the other teams, man. And I'll say this, especially the guys in the NFC North. We whipped your asses with backups, so stop talking.
Sweat.
Anyways,
Sweat. 6 piece.
All of them, 6 games
Sweet.
in the North, and you if you had the injuries that we had and still do what we did, you can't call us frauds. Y'all were frauds with starters. We
I like that.
We ran the table with backups. So anyway, hey, if you done so already, make sure you follow the crew on your favorite social media platform. Make sure you follow us on X. Coach Jones does a great job over there at Wolverine Sports Talks. Make sure you hang out with him on the Beyond the Ropes podcast channel on this platform. The playlist, man. Make sure you check him out. He does a great job. I post content from this channel, all of my social media platforms, man. Make sure you catch out my man LL Cool Torrance, man, who might have a special end of the season edition this week coming up of Thirsty Thursdays, man. So you know how he gets down over there on his Instagram channel, man. Mr. Yam Farmer himself, man. And it cracked me up when people found out what yams was. It's not hitting them up. But anyways, man, thank you guys for checking us out, man. We're here to help you heal. We need to talk about it, get it out, man. Next show on Wednesday, we're gonna start having our end of season awards. You know what I'm saying? Coach of the year, player of the year. Offensive performances. You know what I'm saying? Best defensive performances of the year. So make sure you tune in on Wednesday to check that out, man. I will not do a live show tomorrow. Still got some stuff going on. Be back live probably on Friday, but make sure you check us out on Wednesday. We do our next recorded show, man. Thank you for watching, man. I know it's a little longer show today, but we had to get it out. We had to relax, release. We had to woo side today, man. So, hey, but guess what? Win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna ride with my team till I die. So that's what we gonna. It ain't for one season, it's forever. So that's what we do right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, man. Now it's time for parting shots for today's show, man. LL, what you got for the people on this sad Monday, last Monday of the season for the Lions?
Well, it is what it is. You can't win them all. Surely wanted to win these ones to get to the Super Bowl or something, but it is what it is, man. Like you said, it's time to release and move on. I was, that's just how I am. I'd be pissed for a hot second, then I forget at what I'm at anyway. But it's, it's over with. Next year, we've said it. We all said it before. There's always next year. Don't let nobody out there talk to you crazy, especially if they don't even like the Lions or don't even watch football, stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of people out there just wanting to say something, just wanting attention. Hey, please look at me. Please look at me, begging for attention. Yesterday I had time. I don't know if y'all seen me on Facebook or Twitter. I was responding to a lot of dumb shit I saw out there. And I had to do it that way so I wouldn't be out here like Coach Mike, and I know y'all don't like me as much as Coach Mike, so I'd be sitting and y'all wouldn't get that bail up so soon. But yeah, just don't let anybody out there talk crazy to you. You're gonna be on the internet, you're gonna see somebody say something outlandish. Just look at the profile name. It's probably gonna say something like purple, like it was a guy on Purple Buckeye. I said, boy, you was confused. Like you don't even know what the hell you doing. Like it's just don't let none of that stuff get to you. Because they gonna definitely try. There's gonna be a lot of people with either a lot of losers who team has lost to us, got swept through the division or whatever it was. Like Curt said, y'all suck with backups. So I mean, excuse me, suck with starters. We swept y'all ass with starters. Or if it's just somebody like, somebody you might not even like football. It might be a hockey fan talking crazy. So you just recognize who it is that's in front of you. A wise man once said, don't argue with fools because people around you may not know who is who. So and that's exactly how it is. When you start arguing with fools, you become the second one. Unless you feel like doing it, unless it's fun to you. So whatever it is. But just understand that, it happens like that sometimes and be ready for next year.
All right, what you got, Coach Jones?
Yeah, I made a bet at the beginning of the season with a couple of sports betting apps, and it was a little bit of money, man. I thought it would turn out to be, a little bit, man. It didn't end up coming true. So that's like, oh man. But then again, like I said, it wasn't nothing I'm gonna ever miss. But man, this season, man, it's just we're just riding so high, man, and it's just like, man, it's just still hard to believe. Like it done came to an end, like it's going and over with, man. And yeah, I kind of feel some of the emotions that Dan Campbell had at that press conference after the game, man, where he was like he just didn't know what the hell happened. And I feel a little bit of that, man, because when you don't watch that final game like that, man, and you like how, so I'm still internally dealing with that. That's why nobody said nothing off the wall to me. But you know what? It was a good season, man. It was still a historical season. It was still a monumental season. We still did things that haven't been done ever in the history of football. So, with that being said, you take that with it, man. And hey, we chasing a Super Bowl. So that just is what it is. And just remember, we came from chasing the playoffs to now we're chasing the Super Bowl.
Came from chasing a winning season.
Yes, and we start every season now from here on out chasing the Super Bowl. And I don't remember when we've ever done that ever in the history of Lions, where we start out and our mission. I know everybody say our mission. Our mission is to win the Super Bowl, not to win the NFC North, not to win the NFC conference, but to win the Super Bowl. And with that, I'm glad we are in that spot, and I'm happy, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready for next season.
Yeah. For me, man, thank you guys for checking us out this season, man. The Boss Up All Our podcast, your home for organic debate by Detroit Lions news and rumors, man. Thank you to my brothers LL and my man Coach Jones, man, for riding with me, man. And this was a different venture. I took a year off, kind of get myself together, go to school, man. But when I needed them and I called upon them to say, hey, man, let's start a new show, they were right there for me, man. They would ride with me, man. I really appreciate you. And we're going to take this thing to the next atmosphere here coming up shortly, man. We're going to get this thing rolling. So, hey, but for everyone who's new to us and just found us, thank you for checking us out. For everyone who came over from Lions on the Prowl, man, hey, thanks for hanging out and finding us and coming back and being part of the Boss Up Ball, our family, man. We appreciate it, man. But I'm going to ride with my team, man, 100%. But hey, have a good day at work. Even if you can't, man, go on there and talk your ears. Say, hey, man, we still with the division because you still got a lot to be proud of with this team this season. So talk your ish and just be what it is, man. Hey, we're gonna be right back in this thing next season, man. But do your man Curt Steele a favor. Whatever you're doing in life, you know what you guys do for your man Curt Steele. You guys to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. From man LL Cool Tones and Coach Mike Jones. This is Curt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.